Can I ask you something personal? Have you ever sat at your kitchen table, holding a piece of cheese or a glass of milk, and thought to yourself, this is good for my bones. This will keep me strong. For decades, the dairy industry has told Americans exactly that. And yet, every week in my clinic, I meet men and women over 60 whose memory is slipping, whose muscles are shrinking, and whose blood pressure keeps rising. Even though they think they are eating healthy, the truth is both shocking and hopeful. Not all cheese is created equal. Some of the most common ones, the ones proudly labeled as low-fat or authentic, can quietly shrink your brain, weaken your muscles, and damage your gut. But the right ones, when chosen carefully, can protect your memory, strengthen your legs, and bring back energy you thought was gone forever. As reported by the New York Times in 2023, over 15% of older Americans experience accelerated memory decline linked to poor diet choices, especially processed dairy. But here's the good news. You can reverse this. Starting with the very next meal, you can choose foods that support your brain instead of breaking it down. So, before we begin, let me ask, do you recognize yourself here? Do you sometimes feel bloated, stiff, or foggy after eating cheese? Share your story in the comments. Your words may help another senior who is struggling right now. And if this resonates with you, subscribe and ring the bell so we can keep walking this journey together. Number 1, the shocking truth about cheese and the aging brain. Can I ask you something personal? Have you ever opened your refrigerator, pulled out a slice of cheese, and thought to yourself, this is good for me. This will help keep my bones strong. For years, the dairy industry has told us that cheese is a cornerstone of healthy aging. They promised it would give us protein, calcium, and the strength to live longer. But sitting across from my patients for more than 30 years, I have seen another side of the story. The truth is simple but difficult to accept. Not all cheese is safe, especially once you reach your 60s. Some of the most common choices on the shelves, the ones proudly labeled as low-fat, authentic, or gourmet, may actually harm your heart, your gut, and even your brain. In fact, the New York Times reported in 2023 that more than 15% of older Americans face accelerated memory decline connected to poor dietary choices, particularly processed dairy products. That is not just a number on a page. That is your neighbor forgetting his car keys, your best friend missing her doctor's appointment, or even you struggling to remember why you walked into the kitchen. But here is the part that gives me hope. The wrong cheese can slowly erode your health, but the right cheese, chosen with care, can become a daily ally. It can reduce inflammation, rebuild strength, and even sharpen your memory. Imagine something as simple as changing the cheese on your sandwich, helping you walk more steadily, think more clearly, and wake up with more energy. This is not about scaring you. It is about opening your eyes to choices that matter. You cannot control your age, but you can control what you put on your plate. Think of cheese not as a guilty pleasure, but as a tool, one that can either harm or heal. So before we dive into the 4 dangerous cheeses and the 4 healing cheeses, let me ask you, have you ever felt bloated, stiff, or foggy after eating cheese? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience might give strength to someone else watching tonight. And if this message touches you, I invite you to subscribe and join me as we continue this journey toward protecting your brain before it needs saving. Number 2, the hidden danger of the healthy cottage cheese. When most seniors think of a safe and light cheese, cottage cheese is often at the top of the list. It is marketed as low-fat, high in protein, and even recommended by dietitians for weight control. Many of my patients have told me they eat a small bowl of cottage cheese before bed, believing it is one of the healthiest evening snacks. But here is the hidden truth that rarely makes it onto the label. One single cup of cottage cheese can contain more than 800 milligrams of sodium. That is more than 1/3 of the recommended daily intake, packed into just a small serving. For older adults, that amount of salt is not harmless. It drives up blood pressure, places extra strain on the kidneys, and worsens swelling in the legs and ankles. In a 2022 study published in Hypertension Research, adults over 60 who consumed high-sodium dairy products daily experienced a 24% rise in systolic blood pressure in only 3 months. That is enough to push someone from borderline into a hypertensive crisis without any warning signs. I think of Sylvia, a 71-year-old retired librarian from Vermont. She started eating cottage cheese every evening, proud that she had chosen something healthy. Within weeks, she noticed swelling around her ankles and a heaviness in her legs. Her morning blood pressure readings jumped from 128/82 to 150/92, despite no changes to her medication. When we traced the problem back to her bedtime cottage cheese habit, she was shocked. After she switched to a low-sodium ricotta alternative, the swelling disappeared, and within 6 weeks, her blood pressure returned to safe levels. If you absolutely love cottage cheese, there are ways to make it safer. Choose low-sodium or no-salt added varieties, which most brands now carry. You can also rinse it gently before serving to wash away surface salt, and never eat it close to bedtime when fluid retention can interfere with both sleep and blood pressure regulation. So let me ask, have you ever felt swollen fingers in the morning or noticed your shoes fitting tighter after a salty snack at night? If so, share your story in the comments. You may be surprised how many others are struggling with the same silent issue. And remember, protecting your brain also means protecting your heart and blood vessels. Number 3, pepper jack cheese and the gut-brain connection. Pepper jack sounds fun, doesn't it? It has that spicy kick, it melts beautifully on sandwiches, and it feels like a lively twist on a classic. Many of my patients have told me they reached for pepper jack, thinking the spice made it healthier or gave their metabolism a boost, but the truth is far less exciting. For seniors, pepper jack is a triple threat, high in the saturated fat, overloaded with sodium, and packed with artificial preservatives. Turn over the package and look at the fine print. You will often see additives such as sodium phosphate or natamycin. These chemicals are not there to nourish you. They are there to preserve texture and extend shelf life. But once inside your body, they interfere with the delicate balance of bacteria in your gut. And here's the critical point. Your gut is not just about digestion. It is directly connected to your immune system, your energy, and even your mood. In 2021, Frontiers in Nutrition published a study showing that older adults who regularly consume processed cheeses with flavoring additives had a 33% higher risk of gut dysbiosis. That means harmful bacteria began to outgrow the beneficial ones. The results were higher levels of inflammation, more constipation, and worsened mood scores. For someone already managing health challenges after 60, this can quietly push them toward more serious problems: fatigue, anxiety, or even memory decline. I think of Frank, a 68-year-old Vietnam veteran from Arizona. He loved his pepper jack sandwiches, but over time, he noticed bloating, irregular digestion, and persistent abdominal discomfort. Eventually, he was diagnosed with mild diverticulitis. When his nutritionist helped him cut out the processed spicy cheeses, the change was dramatic. Within 3 weeks, his gut pain eased and his bowel habits returned to normal. If you still crave that little kick, there are safer ways. Add fresh jalapenos, crushed red pepper, or a sprinkle of cayenne to a clean cheese such as goat cheese or part-skim mozzarella. This way you control the spice without swallowing a cocktail of preservatives. So let me ask you directly, have you ever felt bloated or sluggish after enjoying your favorite cheesy sandwich? If you have, share it in the comments below. You may discover that your story is the same as thousands of others. Remember, a healthy gut is the foundation of a healthy brain. Number 4, blue cheese and the risk to your brain. Blue cheese is often seen as elegant. It appears on fancy salads, gourmet platters, and in restaurants that charge extra for its rich, tangy flavor. Many seniors I've spoken with tell me they feel sophisticated when they add blue cheese crumbles to their lunch. But here is the danger most people never hear. For adults over 60, blue cheese is one of the most deceptive threats to brain health. Why? First, blue cheese is high in tyramine, a naturally occurring compound that can raise blood pressure and interfere with brain chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. That means it can worsen headaches, disrupt sleep, and contribute to sudden mood changes. And second, the mold cultures that give blue cheese its unique look produce toxins known as mycotoxins. In small doses, younger people may handle them just fine, but aging immune systems do not clear these toxins as effectively. The result is more inflammation, more oxidative stress, and faster cognitive decline. A 23 study published in Aging and Disease found that seniors who ate mold-ripened cheeses, such as blue cheese, gorgonzola, and roquefort more than twice per week had 31% higher markers of inflammation. Even more concerning, they showed an 18% faster decline on memory tests compared to those who avoided them. That is not just a statistic. That is a grandmother forgetting the names of her grandchildren, or a retired teacher losing track of her daily routine. I remember Judith, a 72-year-old retired artist from North Carolina. She believed the mold in blue cheese helped her age like fine wine. But over time, she developed frequent headaches, poor sleep, and sudden mood dips. When we identified her daily blue cheese salads as the trigger and removed them, the change was striking. Within 2 weeks, her headaches stopped and her mood stabilized. Now let me pause here and turn to you. Have you ever noticed a foggy head, sudden headache, or restless sleep after eating a strong cheese? Do you think back and connect certain foods with your memory or mood? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience may be the key that helps another viewer put the puzzle together for their own health. If you truly enjoy blue cheese, I am not telling you to banish it forever, but treat it as a rare treat no more than once a week, and never pair it with wine or cured meats, which can cause a tyramine overload. Instead, try toasted walnuts or a sprinkle of feta to capture the tang without the hidden risk. Remember, protecting your brain is not about living without joy. It is about choosing wisely with the wisdom of your years. Number 5, American cheese, the silent threat on your plate. American cheese feels familiar. It is the slice melted on a childhood burger, the comfort in a grilled cheese sandwich, or the square wrapped in shiny plastic at every grocery store. Many seniors I meet tell me it feels safe because they grew up with it. But here is the truth: American cheese is not real cheese at all. It is a processed product made of scraps from other cheeses, mixed with emulsifiers, stabilizers, and artificial colorings. What does that mean for your health after 60? American cheese is often only 40 to 60% real dairy. The rest is chemicals like sodium citrate, sorbic acid, or carrageenan. These additives are designed to make the slices melt smoothly and last longer on the shelf. Inside your body, though, they drive inflammation, disrupt insulin balance, and increase the risk of memory decline. In 2021, the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition published findings showing that older adults who ate processed cheese slices more than 3 times per week had 22% higher fasting insulin levels. Even more concerning, they had a 30% greater risk of measurable cognitive impairment after just 1 year. For a senior already worried about diabetes or early memory loss, that is a dangerous combination. Walter, a 66-year-old retired truck driver from Ohio, is one of my patients who learned this lesson the hard way. Every morning, he made himself a grilled cheese sandwich. Over time, his fasting glucose climbed from 102 to 125, and he began forgetting appointments. At first, his family feared dementia, but when his daughter removed all processed cheese from his diet and replaced it with whole food proteins and natural dairy, his blood sugar dropped back below 100, and his memory improved noticeably. If you love the taste of melted cheese, you do not have to give it up. Choose aged cheddar or part-skim mozzarella instead. Both melt well without the chemical load, and always read the package. If it says cheese product or processed, put it back on the shelf. So let me ask, how often do you reach for those easy orange slices? Could today be the day you swap them for something that truly protects your brain? Share your answer in the comments. You may inspire another viewer to take the same step toward living well, living strong, and protecting their brain before it needs saving. Number 6, Feta cheese, a forgotten ally for seniors. After hearing about so many dangerous cheeses, you may be wondering, is there any cheese I can actually enjoy without fear? The answer is yes. Let us begin with feta cheese, especially the kind made from sheep's or goat's milk. This simple, crumbly cheese has been part of Mediterranean diets for centuries, and modern science is finally showing why it deserves a place on your plate after 60. Unlike heavy cow's milk cheeses, true feta is lower in lactose, making it easier to digest for seniors who often struggle with bloating or discomfort after dairy. Even more important, Feta contains a unique balance of fats, including medium-chain fatty acids. These fats are burned quickly for energy instead of being stored as belly fat. That means less weight around the waistline, better metabolism, and steadier energy throughout the day. Feta also contains conjugated linoleic acid, a special fat that has been shown to lower inflammation and improve body composition. In 2022, the journal Nutrients published research showing that older adults who ate sheep or goat milk cheese 3 times per week saw a 21% reduction in C-reactive protein, a key marker of inflammation. They also had more diverse gut bacteria, which means better digestion, stronger immunity, and even improved mood. I think of Helen, a 69-year-old retired music teacher from Oregon. She had battled high cholesterol and constant bloating. When her dietitian suggested replacing her daily cheddar with sheep's milk feta, the results surprised even her. Within 6 weeks, her LDL cholesterol dropped by 18 points, and she finally felt light and comfortable after meals. If you want to get the most from feta, choose the kind packed in brine rather than the dry crumbles in plastic tubs. The brine helps preserve the natural probiotics. You can rinse it lightly to reduce salt before serving. Pair it with olive oil, fresh greens, or tomatoes for a double anti-inflammatory benefit. Now let me ask you, have you ever tried feta cheese in your meals? How did it make you feel compared to heavier cheeses? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story might encourage someone else to try this gentle but powerful ally. Feta is more than just a salad topping. For seniors, it can be a daily step toward lighter digestion, calmer inflammation, and renewed strength. Number 7, Parmesan, the brain and muscle protector. Parmesan is often seen as just a sprinkle on pasta, but authentic Parmesan, known as Parmigiano Reggiano, is far more than a garnish. For seniors, it is one of the most nutrient-dense and brain-friendly cheeses available. And unlike many others, it supports both memory and muscle strength at the same time. What makes Parmesan special is the way it is aged. Authentic Parmigiano Reggiano must be aged at least 12 months, and often much longer. During this time, the proteins are naturally broken down into smaller, more digestible pieces. That means your body can absorb the amino acids more efficiently, a crucial benefit after 60 when digestion tends to slow down. Parmesan is also rich in calcium and phosphorus, minerals that strengthen bones and prevent fractures. But the real magic lies in its content of glutamate, an amino acid that fuels brain function. In 2021, the Journal of Nutrition, Health, and Aging reported that seniors who consume 30 grams of aged Parmesan daily, about 1 ounce, roughly the size of your thumb, showed measurable improvements in memory scores and retained more lean muscle mass compared to those eating lower quality cheese. Arthur, a 74-year-old retired engineer from Wisconsin, experienced this firsthand. Despite eating enough protein, he was losing muscle each year. His dietitian encouraged him to add shaved Parmesan to soups, salads, and vegetables. Within 8 weeks, he regained 2 pounds of lean mass, and even more impressive, he noticed his concentration was sharper and his energy steadier throughout the day. If you want these benefits, make sure you choose the real thing. Authentic Parmesan will be stamped on the rind with the words Parmigiano Reggiano. Avoid the green canisters of pre-grated cheese. Many of those products contain fillers such as cellulose, sometimes referred to as wood pulp, which do not carry the same health benefits. Let me ask you, do you sprinkle Parmesan on your meals, or have you always thought of it as an extra? Try adding a small daily serving and see how your body responds. Then share your experience in the comments. Your story might help someone else discover this hidden ally. Parmesan is not just a topping, it is a daily shield for your brain and a quiet support for your muscles. At this stage of life, it makes it a priceless addition to your plate. Number 8, Ricotta, the gentle fighter against muscle loss. When people think of ricotta, they often picture lasagna or desserts, but fresh whole milk ricotta is one of the most underrated superfoods for seniors. It is soft, mild, and surprisingly powerful when it comes to protecting your muscles, supporting your immune system, and giving back the energy that aging so often takes away. What makes ricotta unique is how it is made. Ricotta is a whey cheese, created from the liquid left behind after other cheeses are formed. That liquid is packed with essential amino acids, especially leucine. Leucine is the exact nutrient your body needs to rebuild and maintain muscle. After 60, muscle loss, also called sarcopenia, accelerates. But studies show that getting enough leucine each day can slow that process dramatically. In 2022, the Journal of Geriatric Nutrition published a trial in which seniors who ate just 3 ounces of fresh ricotta daily for 8 weeks increased their leg strength by 15%. They also improved their balance and reduced inflammation markers compared to a group eating non-dairy alternatives. For someone struggling to climb stairs or stand up from a chair, that difference can mean independence instead of dependence. Ricotta also contains lactoferrin, a protein that supports immune health and helps the body regulate iron. Many seniors deal with fatigue caused by poor iron absorption, but ricotta helps balance that system gently without triggering inflammation. Gloria, a 66-year-old caregiver from Michigan, is one example. She was constantly tired and even diagnosed with mild anemia. When her nutritionist suggested adding ricotta to her breakfast, stirred into oatmeal, spread on whole grain toast, or mixed with fresh berries, she hesitated. But within a month, her hemoglobin rose from 11.5 to 13.2, and she told me she felt lighter, stronger, and finally energetic again. If you want to use ricotta wisely, buy it fresh from a deli or try making it at home with milk, lemon juice, and a little salt. Avoid ricotta-like spreads that come in tubs with added thickeners, as they do not have the same nutrients. So here is my question to you. Have you noticed your legs feeling weaker over the years? Imagine if something as simple as a few spoonfuls of ricotta each day could help restore that strength. Share your thoughts in the comments. Your words may give someone else the courage to try. Number 9, goat cheese, the ultimate protector for gut, mood, and immunity. Goat cheese is often overlooked in the supermarket aisle. Many seniors pass it by, not realizing that this humble cheese may be one of the most powerful allies for brain health, gut strength, and emotional well-being. For those of us over 60, goat cheese deserves a closer look because its unique nutrients work in ways that most cow's milk cheeses simply cannot. First, goat cheese is naturally lower in lactose, which means it is gentler on the digestive system. But the real gift lies in its fat composition. Goat cheese contains caprylic acid and medium-chain triglycerides, often called MCTs. These special fats help maintain the integrity of the gut lining, a critical function since the gut wall tends to weaken with age, leading to what is often described as leaky gut. When the gut wall becomes permeable, toxins and inflammatory particles can enter the bloodstream, setting off cascades of inflammation that affect not just the body but also the brain. Even better, aged varieties of goat cheese are rich in probiotics, the friendly bacteria that restore balance to the microbiome. A healthy microbiome supports smoother digestion, stronger immunity, and even a calmer mood. In 2023, Clinical Nutrition reported that adults over 60 who ate aged goat cheese 3 times per week had 26% higher levels of protective bifidobacteria in their intestines. Participants also reported less bloating, fewer episodes of fatigue, and significantly lower levels of anxiety compared to those eating standard cow's milk cheese. Take the story of Sam, a 70-year-old retired postal worker from New Mexico. For years, he struggled with irritable bowel symptoms, seasonal allergies, and persistent low mood. His naturopath encouraged him to swap out his usual cheeses for aged goat cheese and to pair it with leafy greens. Within 5 weeks, Sam's digestion normalized, his sleep deepened, and his allergy symptoms reduced by more than half. Just as importantly, his wife told me she noticed he was smiling more and seemed lighter in spirit. If you want to add goat cheese to your diet, look for aged varieties from local farms or health food stores. Choose unflavored options and avoid products with gums or added oils that reduce the benefits. Pair goat cheese with fiber-rich foods like vegetables or whole grains to maximize absorption of its nutrients. Now let me ask you, have you ever noticed how your digestion or even your mood changes with certain foods? Have you tried goat cheese before? And if so, how did it make you feel? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience may be exactly what another person needs to hear today. Goat cheese is not just food. For seniors, it can be a daily step toward calmer digestion, brighter mood, and a stronger shield for the brain and immune system. Number 10, choosing wisely to protect your brain and your future. We have traveled together through the story of cheese, from the dangerous slices that quietly harm your heart, muscles, and memory, to the healing varieties that can bring lightness, strength, and clarity back into your daily life. If there is one message I want you to carry with you, it is this. Your food is not just fuel. It is medicine, and it can be either poison or protection. The four dangerous cheeses, cottage, pepperjack, blue, and American, may be comforting or familiar, but they carry silent risks that grow heavier with age. On the other hand, Feta, Parmesan, Ricotta, and goat cheese can become daily allies. They fight inflammation, protect your gut, and strengthen both your memory and your mobility. The choice is always yours, and even small swaps can transform the way you feel in just a few weeks. I want you to feel encouraged, not overwhelmed. It is never too late to change the story of your health. I have seen patients in their 70s and 80s who believed decline was inevitable, only to rediscover sharper thinking and stronger legs after making simple, consistent choices. If you have felt tired, foggy, or weaker in recent years, know this: your body is still wise, and it still responds with resilience when you give it what it needs. Every small step matters, and today can be the day you begin again. Now, I want to turn this moment over to you. Have you recognized yourself in any of these stories? Have you ever noticed memory slips, swelling, or stomach discomfort after eating cheese? Or maybe you have tried one of the healing cheeses and felt a difference. Share your reflections in the comments below. Your experience can guide, comfort, and even inspire someone else who is walking the same road. And before we close, I invite you to take the next step with me. Our journey does not end here. In the next video, I will reveal something that even many doctors do not discuss openly. This common brain test could trigger stroke overnight. It is a story that could change the way you approach routine checkups and protect your life in ways you never imagined. So click the link, subscribe if you have not already, and join me there. Together, we are building a community that protects the brain before it needs saving and gives hope back to every senior who deserves to live long, live strong, and live well.